Happy Friday, lovelies and acolytes. My name is Lionessa Hart, and today we are going to talk about Pluto in Aquarius. So, yes, I know this video is a little bit delayed, and Pluto did go direct in Aquarius on Wednesday, the 19th, but we're going to go ahead and get into all the nitty gritty about what this transit means for the next 18 years and what you can expect. So, Pluto has gone direct on the 19th, and it will be direct in Aquarius all the way until March 8th, until 2043. This is an 18-year cycle that really is going to have a lot of life-changing energy and events that are going to be to come in the future. So this is a little bit of an astrological forecast on what you can expect in the next upcoming 18 years. So, first of all, Plutonian energy is intense. It's deeply generational and ancestral, especially in its connection to intergenerational trauma, ancestral patterns, and generational shifts and ties. It is a planet of deep transformation, representing the hidden and often uncomfortable truths. It challenges us to confront the darkest parts of ourselves and the world, burning away what no longer serves us, to allow for spiritual and personal rebirth. Pluto's connection to the eighth house also ties it to the intergenerational and psychological inheritance passed down through families, such as generational patterns, emotional or spiritual wounds that have been passed down through the family lineage, and ancestral healing, but also deep karmic cycles that encourage us to break free from destructive ancestral patterns. Pluto helps us on our journey, our soul journey, and our soul evolution on our journey towards growth and self mastery. So, Aquarius is a sign that's ruled by Saturn, which governs structure and discipline, and modernly by Uranus, which governs rebellion and innovation. It governs themes of technology, humanitarianism, collective consciousness, individuality, and progress. Aquarius values freedom, equality, intellectual advancement, challenging the status quo to envision a better future. Pluto in Aquarius represents the destruction and transformation of outdated societal structures to build a more innovative, inclusive, and equitable future. It signals a shift from power concentrated in the hands of a few to power shared amongst the collective. So, what are the key themes of this transit for the next 18 years? Well, the first thing is definitely going to be technological revolution. This will likely bring about revolutionary advancements in technology, artificial intelligence, and space exploration. It will also force us to confront the darker sides of technology, such as privacy concerns, surveillance, and ethical dilemmas around AI. The second thing is collective power and humanitarianism. This transit emphasizes the collective empowerment of communities and the redistribution of power. It will challenge hierarchy systems, promoting equality and collaboration. This means we're going to see a lot of grassroots movements, activism, and collective efforts to address global challenges, such as the environment and more, which will gain momentum. It's a call for humanity to work together for the greater good. The third thing we're going to see is rebellion against oppression. Aquarius is the sign of rebellion and innovation. Pluto's energy here is going to expose oppressive systems and power imbalances, sparking revolutions and reforms. This could manifest in political uprisings, societal shifts, and dismantling of outdated ideologies. The fourth thing is redefinition of individuality and identity. Aquarius governs individuality within the collective. Pluto's presence here challenges us to balance the personal freedom with collective responsibility. This could bring shifts in how we define our identity, individuality, and inclusivity in a globalized world. The fifth thing is spiritual awakening and collective consciousness. Aquarius is associated with higher consciousness and spiritual enlightenment. Pluto's transit here could spark shifts in collective awareness, encouraging people to embrace universal truths and interconnectedness. It challenges individuals to rise above ego driven motives and align with the greater good. So, with all the good that's going to be happening over the 18 years, what's the shadow side of Pluto in Aquarius? So, the first thing is definitely going to be technological overreach. So, while technology will advance, there's always potential for misuse, such as increased surveillance, loss of privacy, and ethical dilemmas around AI and bioengineering. The second is definitely going to be rebellion without purpose. The rebellious energy of Aquarius combined with Pluto's intensity could lead to chaos, extremism, and movements that lack clear direction or focus. The third thing is definitely going to be alienation and isolation. Aquarius values intellectual connection, but its detachment can lead to feelings of alienation, especially as technology reshapes human interaction. Pluto's transit through Aquarius throughout the next 18 years heralds a time of profound transformation, innovation, and collective empowerment. It calls on humanity to confront its shadows, technological, societal, and environmental, while embracing a future built in equality, progress, and interconnectedness. By aligning with these energies, we can navigate through this transformative era throughout the next 18 years with better awareness, adaptability, and purpose. So, if you have any planets in Aquarius, Pluto will be conjunct this planet. Conjunctions in astrology represent unification, amplification, and potential synergy that metaphysically symbolizes the fusion of energies. They kind of act as like initiators of significant life events or internal transformation. It creates this focal point of awareness where a specific area of life or inner experience demands attention or development. This creates a merging of energies into a singular, potent force that can be harnessed for transformation, manifestation, and growth. And while they will amplify the strengths of Pluto, they will also challenge us to balance their energies harmoniously, offering profound opportunities for personal and spiritual evolution. You're going to want to check your birth chart for the house placement to get a better clarity on what that might be. And we're going to discuss what this means for each house. So, first of all, let's get into Pluto in the first house. What exactly is this transit going to mean for you over the next 18 years? So, Pluto in the first house basically has a lot to do with yourself, your identity, your appearance. This could possibly mean a transformation of your identity, your physical appearance, and how others and you perceive yourself. This is a time of personal empowerment, rebirth, and asserting your individuality. This also means you could be changing your personal style and the way that you look to as well. You also may feel compelled to redefine yourself authentically. So, if you have Pluto in Aquarius in the second house, let's see what this could mean for the next 18 years, possibly for you. So, the second house governs money, possessions, value, work, income, routine, material possessions, your habits, your job, and your work ethic. So, this means that there could be profound shifts in your relationship with finances, work, your material possessions, your self worth, and your work ethic. This means old values could be discarded in favor of deeper and more meaningful priorities, such as being more environmentally conscious in the things that you purchase or buy. This could also mean a change in career towards something that is more innovative or involves technology or is more focused on humanitarian efforts. Ideally, this is going to bring some kind of financial regeneration, new sources of income, and realignment with your personal values in a very profound and powerful way. So, what does Pluto in the third house in Aquarius mean for the next 18 years? So, the third house deals with the mind, thinking, siblings, social activity, and interests. neighbors, early education, communication, and community. This means there is going to be an intense transformation in how you think, communicate, and relate to others locally. Relationships with siblings or neighbors may undergo changes, and you might develop an interest in alternative ideas, technologies, or humanitarian efforts socially and partake in them as new activities. This could also bring about some profound changes when it comes to ideas about early education, especially if you're a parent with younger children. So, what does Pluto and Aquarius in the fourth house mean for the next 18 years? So, the fourth house deals with home, family, roots, self care, emotions, foundations, your mother, women, children, and femininity, your feminine energy. So, this could mean a total transformation in your home life, your family dynamics, your self care practices, and your ancestral connections, your roots, the things that, you're really connected to intergenerationally. There could be relationship changes in how you relate or communicate with your mother and other women in your life and children, especially if you are a parent. You may feel called to uncover secrets about your roots or completely revamp your living situation. This could signal a total transformation of your foundations at home, either physically, such as renovating your space or decorating, or spiritually and emotionally through deep reflection over emotional wounds, highlighting family patterns or intergenerational issues that are in need of healing, change, and transformation. So, what does Pluto in the fifth house in Aquarius mean for the next 18 years? So, the fifth house has a lot to do with creativity, romance, pleasure, play, love affairs, that childlike joy and spirit that our inner child has, and self expression. So, this means you can expect deep transformative changes in your creative expression, love affairs, or how you seek joy. There could be romantic or artistic pursuits that might take on a more intense or unconventional kind of flavor. This transit could also bring elevated drama as well, but also with new innovative forms of romance, fun, and the way that you express yourself creatively, and more. There is also a possibility of elevated fertility levels here too as well, as this is such a very abundant energy. So be safe out there. So, what does Pluto in Aquarius in the seventh house for the next 18 years mean? The seventh house has a lot to do with partnerships, marriage, collaboration, equality, contracts, sharing, and your interpersonal style, which has a lot to do with how you communicate with others. So, this means relationships of all kinds will be under scrutiny, whether in your personal life, in your marriage, or possibly even contracts that you have at work or relationships that you have with your work associates. The power dynamics in these partnerships could rise to the surface, leading to transformative healing and, let's say, connections and better communication. There could be a way that you look at how you communicate with others, whether it's in your marriage or your relationships with your friends or your work associates, and doing so in a way that creates transformative and equitable healing or creates a necessary ending. So, the focus here is really finding that balance and that harmony within your relationships in your personal or your work life, and finding those healthy boundaries that work best for you for your highest good. So, what does Pluto in Aquarius in the seventh house for the next 18 years mean? The seventh house has a lot to do with partnerships, marriage, collaboration, equality, contracts, sharing, and your interpersonal style, which has a lot to do with how you communicate with others. So, this means relationships of all kinds will be under scrutiny, whether in your personal life, in your marriage, or possibly even contracts that you have at work or relationships that you have with your work associates. The power dynamics in these partnerships could rise to the surface, leading to transformative healing and, let's say, connections and better communication. There could be a way that you look at how you communicate with others, whether it's in your marriage or your relationships with your friends or your work associates, and doing so in a way that creates transformative and equitable healing or creates a necessary ending. So, the focus here is really finding that balance and that harmony within your relationships in your personal or your work life, and finding those healthy boundaries that work best for you for your highest good. So, what does Pluto in Aquarius in the eighth house mean for the next 18 years? The eighth house has a lot to do with shared resources, sex, shared finances, inheritance, taxes, loans, assets, property, joint ventures, your partner's resources. So, this really has a lot to do with a time of profound psychological or spiritual rebirth. Remember that Pluto is the most comfortable here in the eighth house. So there's going to be a lot of transformation here. This could mean issues with your shared finances. You could come into an inheritance. There could be issues here with taxes, loans. You could get approved for a significant loan, assets. Property values could possibly go up, joint ventures that you either have with your partner or, at work. And there could also be an increase in your partner's resources here. You could experience these transformations in your shared finances or just your intimate connections in general. There is a deep healing possibly here around fears or taboos, especially in your intimate and your sex life. Aquarius is really big on that innovation. So you might bring, some new gadgets into the bedroom with you and your partner too, as well. But there also could be that technological innovation that, shows its head through your inheritance, your assets, your property, and joint ventures. Let's say, you find a new website if you're trying to like sell a house that, can help you move those things forward. Um, Really, here the focus is power, emotional resilience, and abundance, but also an element of mysticism too, as well. So, what does Pluto in the ninth house in Aquarius mean for the next 18 years? The ninth house has a lot to do with philosophy, travel, higher wisdom, law and religion, cross cultural relations, learning, and ethics. So, here your beliefs and worldview will undergo a major transformation. You might be traveling, you might experience new forms of cross cultural relations, through travel. You might be studying law or religion or researching these topics, learning new things, your ethics, the things that you find morally compatible with who you are as individual and as a human being. There could be, significant changes through this as well. You might seek profound spiritual growth, either through religion or, just researching spirituality in general. There's also a possibility here of pursuing higher education and just exploring unconventional philosophies and ideologies. The focus here is really on this expansion of wisdom, travel, and breaking your mental limitations. So, what does Pluto in Aquarius in the 10th house mean for the next 18 years? The 10th house has a lot to do with your career, your reputation, your legacy, your long term goals, the structure of your life, your status, your reputation, masculinity or masculine energy in general, your relationships with men, your father, and it also has a lot to do with expertise, experts, and fame. So this means, you will have profound changes in your career or public image. You could experience some form of social media recognition or fame, either on the local level or possibly, on a very mass scale. You might experience a complete shift in your professional goals and your long term goals, but just your career in general, the structure of your life, and how you want to, go about attacking and creating those long term goals that you have. But you also might see a transformation in your masculine energy, and just how you perceive masculinity as a whole. This means you might be more assertive with some of the steps and the direction that you take. You might find yourself becoming an expert in certain subjects. And, this also could signify a transformation in your relationship with your father, too, as well. So, what does Pluto in the 11th house in Aquarius mean for the next 18 years? Well, the 11th house has a lot to do with friendships, groups, community, your aspirations, your social awareness, humanitarianism, your hopes and your dreams, and the future as a whole. This means that there could be a transformation in your social networks, your friendships, and your collective goals. You could be inspired to, participate in certain grassroots movements that impact your community at large. So this could mean environmental activism, social justice work, volunteer work, things that really focus on helping and elevating the common good and the collective as a whole, but also really focus on creating a better future. You really, really might feel drawn to technology related causes too, as well. So, issues around ethical AI, surveillance, privacy concerns, and bioengineering as well. There's a huge focus here on community impact, collaboration, and progressive innovation. So, what does Pluto in Aquarius in the 12th house mean for the next 18 years? So, the 12th house has a lot to do with your subconscious, spirituality, hidden matters, endings, healing, closure, old age, afterlife, what's hidden, and limiting beliefs. So, this means that you could be maturing or reaching that senior cycle in your life. There's also healing of limiting beliefs about yourself and releasing and letting them go, having hidden issues reveal themselves in your life, either subconsciously or consciously. And this also could signify the ending of a major life cycle and, really finding closure after this cycle in your life. You might find yourself drawn to spirituality and new ideologies, and you also might find yourself having new questions about the afterlife and what happens to you when you die. This focus is really profound, and it's focused on spiritual growth, subconscious healing, and mystical insight. It's really a time for deep spiritual exploration and uncovering hidden truths about yourself. Old karmic patterns might surface, prompting a need for release, renewal, and closure. So, if you have any planets in Leo, Pluto will be opposing that planet. Oppositions in astrology represent polarities that invite integration and harmony. They challenge you to balance opposing forces, fostering growth, awareness, and wholeness. While oppositions can kind of feel like tug of war energetically, they ultimately guide you towards unity within duality, helping you align universal principles of balance and interconnectedness. You're going to want to check your birth chart to see what planets you have in Leo and what house that they're going to be in. So, we're going to discuss what it could be, and what this possibly might represent when you have Pluto in this house in Leo. With Aquarius in the first house of self, appearance, the body, first impressions, attitude, identity, and the approach to life, in opposition versus Leo in the seventh house of partnerships, marriage, equality, contracts, interpersonal style, which kind of means your communication and connection with others. This could symbolize a struggle between your personal independence and the need to harmonize and balance your relationships in your personal life, either with your partner, your family, or your friends, or your work and business life. You might feel torn between reinventing yourself, or you might feel like these relationships have affected your appearance or, your attitude, such as, your confidence, your self esteem. And you might feel the desire for validation from your friends, your partner, or your work associates, or your close relationships in terms of your appearance or the impression that you've made. You might change your entire life to um, you might change your entire life approach too as well. But you might feel afraid of the disconnect from your friends, your family, and your work colleagues, due to this big change. The challenge here is to balance your self growth and your individuality, your self expression, and your appearance without neglecting or overwhelming your relationships, but without having these same relationships cause you to neglect your self growth, your individuality, and your appearance. So, Aquarius in the second house of money, material possessions, value, work income, routine, habits, and your job and work ethic versus Leo in the eighth house of shared resources, sex, finances, taxes, loans, assets, property, joint ventures, and your partner's resources kind of shows that there could be a potential difficulty and conflict between your self sufficiency and your reliance on shared resources, whether it be, from a partner or perhaps, some business or family, situations here. You may feel driven to transform your values or your income, but this could also clash with issues of control, power, or intimacy in a shared financial or emotional investment here. So the challenge really is you balancing your need for financial independence with collaborative efforts and mutual trust in your partnerships. So, Aquarius in the third house of the mind, thinking, siblings, your social activity and interest, your neighbors, your early education, your communication and community, versus Leo in the ninth house, which has to do with philosophy, travel, higher wisdom, law and religion, learning, ethics, and cross cultural relationships means that you could have, some significant tension in your life between the logical and innovative thinking and the expansive, passionate belief systems that are, around us today within the collective. This could mean you could have tension or miscommunication issues with your neighbors or your siblings due to ethics, or it could be, be cross-cultural differences, travel if you're traveling and you're in a different country. This could also be issues and challenges with the law or the main religion of the land that you live in. This also could signify differences in learning or early education with your siblings or your neighbors. You might feel pulled towards rational, detached communication. This is kind of the Aquarian influence, but this can conflict with your emotional need to express your personal beliefs with confidence and charisma. So, the challenge here is to really bridge your intellectual curiosity with faith and passion, creating a balance between the fact and the ideal. So, Aquarius in the fourth house of home, family, roots, self care, emotions, foundations, your mother, women, the women in your life, children, and femininity. And this is really that feminine energy. So, kind of nurturing versus Leo in the 10th house of career, reputation, legacy, long term goals, the structure of your life, that masculine energy, that kind of assertive energy, your relationship with your father, expertise and fame, really signifies that there could be some tension here in your life when it comes to your relationship with your family life and you wanting to nurture that relationship that you have at your home, either with your mother, either with the women in your life, even just nurturing yourself, which most people don't really think about. If you have children, this could also be, working on the relationship that you have with your children. Um, and just really that nurturing feminine energy that kind of helps structure your family life at home. So this signifies a struggle here between your private home life and your public ambitions. So this could be a struggle between, your career, your reputation, your legacy, your long-term goals, the structure of your financial ambitions, your career ambitions, but also maybe the relationships that you have with the men in your life. And this could also possibly signify the relationship that you have with your father, and even kind of the social influence that you have, whether it be in a local hemisphere or, maybe even mainstream. You might feel compelled to transform your home or your family dynamics, but this could also come at the cost of recognition or validation in your career. So the challenge here is to balance your inner emotional world and your personal root and your home life with your outward ambitions and goals. So, Aquarius in the fifth house of creativity, romance, pleasure, play, love affairs, your childlike joy and spirit and self expression, versus Leo in the 11th house of friendships, group, community, aspirations, social awareness, humanitarianism, hopes and wishes, and the future, signifies a potential difficulty and conflict between your personal creative expressions, your romantic relationships, and even that childlike joy that you have with collective innovation, humanitarianism, any aspirations that you might have, and your goals for the future. But this also can signify friendships too, as well. You might feel driven to detach from like individual pleasures, such as your romance, the things that give you happiness and joy, creative ways that you express yourself. But this could also clash with your desire for personal recognition and joy and happiness. So the challenge here is to really find a way to balance your personal creative pursuits, whether that be in romance, the things that you enjoy artistically or creatively, or, the things that just give you joy, and your role within the community, with the group as a large, or in your friendships as well. Aquarius in the sixth house of work, health, systems of analytical nature, pets, work habits, organization, sense of usefulness and service, versus Leo in the 12th house of subconscious, spirituality, hidden matters, endings, healings, closure, old age, afterlife, what's hidden, and limiting beliefs. Really signifies a tension between your daily responsibilities and spiritual introspection. So, this could manifest in limiting beliefs about your health, your fitness, your organization, and work or work habits. This could also signify a pet getting older and concerns about their routine, their health, and their diet, and their fitness. This could also manifest in tension or conflicts with technology at work, and the system that they use to organize things. And this could also, be a tension or conflict or mishaps with, personal technology in your life that you use to organize things. This can also signify retiring from a job, or quitting a job. And it can also signify getting older and not wanting to work as much. There is a kind of an emphasis on being more conscious about your health, your fitness, and your work and your work habits, but also feeling useful at work and in your personal life. This could also signify hidden health issues and finding ways to heal them through diet, exercise, and changing your work schedule. This could also, manifest as concerns about slowing down at work and not being seen as useful. This could also signify hidden issues popping up at work or in your personal life too, as well. So, the challenge here is really integrating your practical self improvement with emotional, physical, and spiritual healing, and finding that spiritual connection that really resonates with you, allowing you to close out this cycle in peace. Aquarius in the seventh house of partnerships, marriage, collaboration, equality, contracts, sharing, and interpersonal style, which has a lot to do with how you connect and resonate with other people or communicate and resonate with other people, versus Leo in the first house of self, appearances, the body, first impressions, attitude, identity, and approach to life, really signifies potential difficulties and tension between your desire to transform your partnerships, whether it be at work and business or in your personal life with your partner, without compromising your sense of self, your identity, your appearance, or your attitude, especially your self esteem. So, this could signify changing your communication style with your partner or your work colleagues for better communication and connection and understanding. Um, you might feel this pull to radically change um, your partnerships while maintaining your sense of self expression and identity. And this is really the area where you're going to be challenged to find a healthy balance where your personal and interpersonal, whether it be, work relationship, growth, and communication can coexist without sacrificing one for the other. Aquarius in the eighth house of shared resources, sex, shared finances, inheritance, taxes, loans, assets, property, joint ventures, and partner resources, versus Leo in the second house of money, possessions, values, work, your income, your routine, your habits, and your job and work ethic highlights, the potential difficulty and tension, but also this need to revolutionize and innovate your intimate connections with your partner and your shared resources while maintaining financial independence, your personal habits or routine, and your job or career. So, the challenge here is to really find that trust and balance in shared ventures with your partner without compromising your values, your independence, or your self worth. So, Aquarius in the ninth house of philosophy, travel, higher wisdom, law and religion, cross cultural relations, learning, and ethics, versus Leo in the third house of the mind, thinking, siblings, social activity and interest, your neighbors, early education, communication, and community. Really signifies the growth and expansion of your personal beliefs and possibly your higher education. So this could also mean you going to school, perhaps studying law or some different form of, religion. This also could mean traveling to different countries and experiencing, cross cultural relationships and making new friendships with people in those countries, while reconciling and maintaining your relationships with siblings and neighbors at home and your community, but also your social life. But also, this could, cause a disconnect and a form of tension with your old belief system, especially beliefs that you've possibly picked up, as a child or that you were taught like in your early formative years, like in kindergarten, elementary school, and stuff like that. So the challenge here is developing a worldwide view that incorporates intellectual clarity and heartfelt conviction with balanced wisdom. Aquarius in the 10th house of career, reputation, legacy, long term goals, structure, status, reputation, masculinity, or that assertive masculine energy, men, fathers, experts, and fame versus Leo in the fourth house of home, family, roots, self care, emotions, foundations, your mother, the women in your life, the children in your life, or, that could be just like your siblings, or that feminine, nurturing energy really emphasizes potential difficulty and tension, but also a transformation of your long term goals or ambitions, your career, your legacy, your expertise, your social influence and fame. It's that really assertive, driven energy. While maintaining your emotional connections in the home with your family, your mother, and that sense of nurturing that you have with people in your family without getting detached or disconnected from them. So, the challenge here is really building your public legacy, or career without neglecting your personal roots and your family relationships in your home. Aquarius in the 11th house of friendships, groups, community, aspirations, social awareness, humanitarianism, hopes and wishes in the future versus Leo in the 5th house of creativity, romance, pleasure, play, love affairs. The childlike joy and spirit and self expression really highlights a focus but attention also as well for collective innovation throughout community. So, either social groups, volunteer works, or grassroots efforts for a better future while ensuring your personal creative fulfillment and joy, romance, room for fun, and self expression. So, the challenge here is going to be, fostering community connections while staying true to yourself and your passions and your joy, but also to the love in your life as well. Aquarius in the 12th house of subconscious spirituality, hidden matters, endings, healing, closure, old age, afterlife, what's hidden and limiting beliefs versus Leo in the 6th house of work, health, systems of analytical nature, pets, work habits, organization, and sense of usefulness really highlights an emphasis on spiritual evolution, maturity, getting closure, cycles coming to an end, spiritual healing, change and release of limiting beliefs, hidden things coming to light while trying to stay organized, work, and maintain your health, your fitness, or pet. And in terms of your pet, this could also signify a pet getting older, a hidden health issue unfortunately coming to light about your pet, a pet possibly passing away, unfortunately, and more. And the challenge here is balancing introspection, health, and healing with practical physical work and routine responsibilities without getting overwhelmed or confused. So, if you have any planets in Taurus or Scorpio, Pluto will be squaring that planet. Squares in astrology are metaphysical symbols of growth through conflict. They highlight where tension exists in your life, pushing you to integrate opposing forces, overcome challenges, and evolve spiritually. While they can be challenging, squares are ultimately transformative, offering the gift of resilience, self mastery, and balance. You're going to want to check your birth chart to see where you have Taurus or Scorpio, and then check what house it is to see what themes you're going to be experiencing for the next 18 years. So let's get into that. So let's go ahead and get into Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in both the first houses. So the first house has a lot to do with basically yourself, your appearance, your body, the first impressions that you make, your attitude, your identity, and your approach to life. So with Pluto squaring Taurus, in the first house, we have a challenge here, a struggle between your personal transformation and desire to maintain a grounded and stable identity. You might have some difficulties here and resistance to change as transforming your identity or your appearance or your body or even your self-esteem can feel destabilizing to your sense of comfort. So, your area of growth here is developing self worth and confidence while integrating innovative and future focused elements into your personal narrative, your physical appearance, or your style. Now, with Pluto squaring Scorpio in the first house, the challenge here is in inner conflict, projecting an independent and forward thinking identity and having a deeply emotional and transformative experience at the same time. You might struggle to reconcile how others perceive you with the emotional intensity that you feel within. So, your area of growth here is learning to integrate your emotional vulnerability with your outward persona, your appearance, and your body, balancing these depths with your unique individuality. So, with Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the second house has a lot to do with money, possessions, value, work, your income, your routine, your habits, your job, and your work ethic. So, with Pluto squaring Taurus in the second house, this has a lot to do with conflicts between evolving attitudes towards money, your material possessions, and your attachment to your material security. You're going to have to focus on letting go of outdated values or financial habits that no longer serve you, and that this kind of the difficulty here is going to be that this is going to feel very threatening to your sense of security. Your area of growth here is balancing practical security with your embrace of innovative approaches to wealth and personal resources, and doing this all with a deeper transformation around your self worth and your resourcefulness. With Pluto squaring Scorpio in the second house, the challenge here is there's going to be tension that arises between new innovative approaches to your finances or your possessions and your deeply ingrained attachments to your material resources or possessions or your personal values. There might be some power struggles here over money and self worth, which might surface. So, your area of growth is really balancing the radical ideas that you have about your financial independence with your emotional security. And within doing this, you'll be able to transform whatever limiting beliefs you have around your worth and your wealth. So, with Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the third house of the mind, which deals with thinking, siblings, social activity, interests, your neighbors, your early education, your communication, and community, what does this mean for the next 18 years? So, let's get into Pluto squaring Taurus in the third house. The challenge here is innovation in communication and learning styles, which may clash with stubborn mindsets or traditional thinking patterns with your siblings or possibly your neighbors. This could also be a miscommunication with your siblings or your neighbors. But here you have a growth opportunity to develop flexible thinking while respecting other people's perspectives and create balanced, transformative conversations. So, this has a lot to do with cultivating inner communication skills while remaining grounded and practical in sharing your message. With Pluto squaring the third house in Scorpio, we have a lot of challenge here around expressing deep truths or confronting manipulation in communication with your siblings, your neighbors, or your peers. So, your area of growth here is cultivating clear and transformative communication by merging your intellect with emotional honesty and finding a way to express your deep emotional truths through intellectual clarity, with these siblings, your neighbor, or your peers. And trying to find a balance of this emotional intensity with an open minded, forward thinking type of communication. So, with Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the fourth house of home, family, roots, self care, your emotions, your foundations, your relationships with your mother, other women, and children, and your relationship with femininity and that nurturing energy within yourself, what does this mean for the next 18 years? Well, for Taurus, this means you're going to have a need for transformative change in your family dynamics, which may conflict with a strong desire to hold on to your family traditions or environments. This could be a transformational change in your relationship with your mother, other family members, and even the relationships that you have with the women in your life, but also your form of self-care, how you take care of yourself, and your sense of nurturing. This has a lot to do with transformative change. So your growth opportunity has a lot to do with developing flexible thinking while respecting other people's perspectives and creating balanced transformative conversations within your family dynamic. So, this area of growth is going to really have to do with redefining what home and stability means to you while nurturing the healthy connections you have within your family, with other women, and with your mother. Now, for Pluto squaring Scorpio in the fourth house, we're going to have some power struggles within the family dynamics or an urge to transform your emotional roots that feel stagnant or restrictive. So, this could be issues with other family members, issues with your relationship with your mother, issues with your communication and how you express yourself and communicate with other women, issues with your feminine energy and how you nurture yourself, but also issues with your self care and kind of changing that dynamic. So, your area of growth here is healing ancestral or familial wounds, creating a foundation of emotional security while allowing yourself space for personal reinvention. This area growth has a lot to do with inherited family patterns and emotional baggage, and changing that into a stable foundation for your growth. This way, you can honor both your personal freedom and your deep family connections. With Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the fifth house of creativity, romance, pleasure, play, love affairs, your childlike joy and spirit, and your self expression, what does this mean for the next 18 years? So, for Pluto squaring Taurus in the fifth house, this means that there could be a push for innovation in your creative self expression or your romantic relationships or how you express your joy or your play or how you have fun. And this may feel at odds with your need for stability and predictability. So, the growth opportunity that you have here is finding ways to infuse your creativity, your romance, your fun, your play with grounded practicality while honoring spontaneity. And this allows you to channel the tension of the square here into creating art or love that is both innovative and enduring. Now, for Pluto squaring Scorpio in the fifth house, what does this mean for the next 18 years? So, the challenge here is difficulty in reconciling your need for self expression with underlying fears of rejection or loss of control in your romantic or creative pursuits. So here you really want to find a way to express yourself without losing what you hold dear. So your area of growth here is harnessing your creative energy for healing and self-discovery and balancing that passion with vulnerability. This area of growth means you're going to be balancing your creativity as a transformative outlet, allowing yourself to explore innovative forms of self expression and having fun while honoring your emotional depth. With Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the sixth house for the next 18 years, what does that mean? Well, the sixth house has a lot to do with work, health, systems of analytical nature, your pets, your work habits, your organizational skills, your sense of usefulness and being needed, and service. So, for Pluto squaring Taurus in the sixth house, this has a lot to do with disruptions in your daily routine or work environments, or your fitness routine, or even your health routine that might challenge your attachment to consistent and familiar habits. So, your growth opportunity here is cultivating flexible structures in which you can be organized in your health, in your work, in your fitness routine, and even, let's say, with your pets routine as well, to promote lasting transformation and well being. Now, for Pluto squaring Aquarius, not Aquarius, Scorpio, I'm sorry, in the sixth house, this means that there could be some struggles with overthinking, obsessive perfectionism, or tension between your physical health, your work, your organization, and your emotional well being. And this could also be issues with pets that you have in your home. So, your area of growth here is integrating this emotional depth into your daily routines and fostering holistic self-care and resilience through balance. So this means creating transformative daily practices that balance your physical and emotional healing, with allowing emotional and physical release to enhance your well-being, to enhance your health, to enhance your productivity, to even help out your pets, and just enhance your life for the better. With Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the seventh house of partnerships, marriage, collaboration, equality, contracts, sharing, and your interpersonal communicative style, what does this mean for the next 18 years? So, for Pluto squaring Taurus in the seventh house, this could mean power struggles or shifts in your partnerships, which may conflict with your desires for a dependable, stable connection. So, your growth opportunity here has a lot to do with transforming your partnerships through open dialogue and mutual growth while maintaining a foundation of trust and support. This area of growth means that you're going to be fostering connections that allow room for your personal growth while maintaining your trust, your loyalty, and reliability and stability in your relationships. For Pluto squaring Scorpio in the seventh house, this means that there could be power imbalances or trust issues in your partnerships, possibly leading to transformative relationship dynamics. So, your area of growth and the growth that you're going to be experiencing means that you could possibly developing partnerships on mutual respect and emotional transparency, allowing you deeper connection and authenticity. But this also means you're going to be exploring deeper, emotionally honest relationships while respecting, your personal freedom. This means a total transformation of control-based dynamics in your relationships into mutual empowerment. Now, everybody knows that Pluto is right at home in the eighth house. This is where it feels the most comfortable. So, with Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the eighth house for the next 18 years, what does this mean? First of all, the eighth house deals with shared sources, resources, sex, shared finances, inheritance, taxes, loans, assets, your properties, your joint ventures, and your partner's resources. So for Pluto squaring Taurus in the eighth house, this could mean that there is a revolutionary energy of Plutonian energy here, which may clash with the deeply rooted fears of financial or emotional instability that you have. There could be some resistance to change in your intimate connections, which may arise due to your fear of it destabilizing your stability and your foundations. So, your growth opportunity here is embracing your vulnerability and releasing your fears around your shared resources with your partner and your emotional intimacy for a deeper connection. Now, for Pluto squaring Scorpio in the eighth house, what exactly does this mean? Well, this could mean intense inner conflicts regarding control, shared resources, or fear of loss in transformative situations. So, the area of growth that you're going to be having here has a lot to do with embracing your vulnerability as a strength, mastering emotional rebirth, and reclaiming your personal power. Um, and that is a really difficult thing to achieve. So, in this area of growth, when you have your personal transformation, um, that's also like at odds with collective progress, you're going to want to find a way to use your shared resources with your partner or your family members and your emotional depth that you have as tools for growth and innovation. With Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the ninth house of philosophy, travel, higher wisdom, law and religion, cross cultural relations, learning, and ethics, what does this mean for the next 18 years? So, for Pluto squaring Taurus in the ninth house, this could bring challenges and a revolutionary energy within your ninth house that causes a conflicting desire for philosophical shifts and attachments to familiar belief systems or traditions. So there's definitely going to be some conflict here um, with these philosophical and ideological shifts that you might have and attachment to what you know. Um, There could also be issues with travel or possibly moving to a different country, shifting laws or religions in the area that you're at. So, your area of growth here is going to have a lot to do with expanding your worldview and integrating innovative ideas with grounded wisdom. For Pluto squaring Scorpio in the ninth house here, this is going to have a lot to do with challenges and tension between your established beliefs and your desire to explore unconventional, transformative ideologies or travel, or, possibly new religions, new laws. Um, your area of growth here has a lot to do with expanding your worldview and integrating your emotional intuition with intellectual and even physical exploration through travel, fostering spiritual growth. So, when you're balancing your emotional intensity here with your intellectual and possible physical exploration, use your emotional insight to expand your worldview while remaining open to new ideas. And for Pluto squaring Taurus in the ninth house here, you're also going to want to find a way to integrate your new philosophies, your travel or education into your life while staying true to your core principles. So there could also be some issues here with visas, citizenship, immigration, especially if you're interested in moving or living in a new country for a while. With Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the 10th house of career, reputation, legacy, long term goals, structure of your life, status, reputation, masculinity and masculine energy, your relationships with men and your father, expertise and fame. What does this mean for the next 18 years? So, for Pluto squaring Taurus in the 10th house, this could bring transformative career changes or with your reputation, your expertise, changes in your dynamics in your relationships with men and how you relate to them, even changes in your dynamics, your relationship dynamic with your father. And this could clash with your desire for a steady, predictable professional and relationship trajectory. So, your area of growth opportunity here has a lot to do with redefining success by embracing innovation while ensuring your public and personal image reflects your authentic values. So, your area of growth has a lot to do with working towards building a future focused legacy while maintaining a steady, dependable reputation or personal and private and public image. For Pluto squaring Scorpio in the 10th house, this is going to have a lot to do with power struggles in your professional life or in your personal life with your father or your relationships with men, and this could also be in your professional life too, as well, or a fear of being emotionally exposed in public settings. So, your area of growth here has a lot to do with transforming your professional image by embracing authenticity and using your emotional depth to inspire leadership. So, this area of growth will have a lot to do with you transforming how you approach power in your career, in your personal life, and your relationships with men and your father. This has a lot to do with balancing your emotional resilience with forward thinking strategies for public success, reputation, and increased status. So, for Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the 11th house of friendships, groups, community, aspirations, social awareness, humanitarianism, hopes and wishes in the future, what does this mean for the next 18 years? So, for Pluto squaring Taurus in the 11th house, this could have a lot to do with radical changes in your social circles, your community, in your friendship, and your aspirations, which might feel destabilizing and threatening to you, especially if old connections or your goals are really hard for you to let go of. So, the growth opportunity that you have here has a lot to do with fostering new friendships and aspirations that align with your evolving self while maintaining the authentic connections within your community and the friendships that you do have. So, this area of growth means that you're going to be balancing tradition with progress by fostering relationships that support both your stability and growth. For Pluto squaring Scorpio in the 11th house, this could mean a great deal. How, do you ask? So, for Pluto and Scorpio, this could mean conflicts that arise with your group dynamics, your friendships, or your aspirations, or just struggles between your individuality and your communal responsibilities. So, this means you're going to be redefining your role within your social circles, within your community, within your friendships, and balancing your personal needs with collective goals and authentic connections. So, finding a way to maintain your emotional, meaningful connections within your communities, within your friendships is important, but you're going to have to find a way to do this using your emotional depth to support collective innovation and shared goals. For Pluto squaring Taurus and Scorpio in the 12th house of the subconscious, spirituality, hidden matters, endings, healing, closure, old age, afterlife, what's hidden, and limiting beliefs, what does this mean for the next 18 years? So for Pluto squaring Taurus in the 12th house, this could actually really mean a lot. So, this means that you could have a deep subconscious transformation, which may clash with a resistance to release outdated or emotional spiritual attachments that you might have. This also could mean hidden issues pop up out of nowhere that kind of force you to release these outdated karmic cycles or energies or baggages that you might have. Your growth opportunity here is surrendering to your inner transformation and trusting that letting go of the old will bring spiritual clarity and peace to your life. So, finding this peace and transformation by grounding your spiritual practices and your subconscious while allowing for breakthrough in your subconscious patterns is really going to be your significant area of growth throughout the next 18 years. Now, for Pluto squaring Scorpio in the 12th house, what exactly does this mean? So, the challenge here means that there could be emotional tension surfacing from suppressed fears, trauma, or subconscious patterns in your life that is going to be demanding transformation. Out with the old, in with the new. This is the end of a cycle. So, you are going to be really challenged here to cultivate spiritual resilience by exploring the hidden aspects of your psyche and your subconscious. There might be some hidden issues that pop up out of nowhere, and integrating this into your emotional healing in your personal and spiritual journey. So, your area of growth has a lot to do with transforming your hidden fears into spiritual insight for the next 18 years, balancing all of this with emotional healing while embracing the interconnectedness of all things. As this video comes to a close, first of all, I want to thank everyone for watching this video. My name is Lionessa Hart, and I am so appreciative to be able to be here to help you. But I also want you to remember that astrology is not prophecy, it's simply pattern recognition. It gives us the tools to go ahead and achieve our goals on our journey for self mastery. Once again, my name is Lionessa Hart, and I will see you later. Bye.